Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? I got on here really quick because I was watching, scrolling on my phone, and I came across that guy 607 Unc. And a lot of people talk stuff about him, but I love him. I really like him, bro. Like everything that he say is wisdom. Everything that he say, like you can get something out of that, right? And everybody's too busy worried about him wiggling down in the chair and the movement. Like, don't none of that matter. You gonna miss out on wisdom and something to keep you going. A word that God got for you, because God would even use your enemies to get a word to you. Understand that. That's goes back to the reference as of your enemies will be used as your footstool. Everybody sitting back, I don't know what y'all think that mean. Like your enemy supposed to be relaxing on the couch or something, and you supposed to be able to kick your feet up on your enemy's back. Like I think that's what people think for real. Because like when I ask people literally what do they think they mean, they say all this different stuff, but it's never actually what it means, right? And it's all about perception, so you can get something out of everything. But I'm not here, when I started to learn, I'm not here to pick apart the conversation to figure out what you're talking about. And so, with that being said, he said something. I just literally came across a video, and he was like, if you got a talent and you broke, don't come asking me for no money. You deserve to suffer, right? He said anybody that got a talent and you sitting on that talent and you going around here asking other people for money or whatever that is, or you feeling sorry for yourself, don't ask me for nothing, right? You deserve to suffer. And a lot of people might say that that's harsh, but it's the truth, right? It was something that I was doing. I was doing like a little crush, the little crush videos, and I still like doing them. But I noticed that everybody and their mama all of a sudden want to do it, right? Everybody you come across, they want to do that thing as well. And I said, okay, God, what is this, right? What we doing here? You got your ex and his ex girl following you and stalking you, trying to hurt and do something to take something from you. You got your old friends you don't talk to no more, sitting in the back watching you, trying to take and hurt and do what you doing, right? Well, I could do that, right? But one thing about it is, when it comes to your charisma, your voice, your talent, who you are as a person, what is that thing that God gave you that was so special, right? And a lot of people, what I notice is, whatever it is that God gave you, a lot of people will try to stump on throughout your life, right? And so I never forget, I had an older homegirl at that time, an older snake, I should say, around me. And she said, I was telling her about something, about how the world was about to be changing, right? It was really over her head because she was here, right? Crabs in the bucket mentality. And she was like, oh, you talk too much, right? And I said, bitch, what you say? Right? But it wasn't that I talked too much, right? The things that I was talking to her about was all the way over her head, right? She was slow. She was here. She dealt with mental illness, all that. And so you got to pick the crowd that you talking to. And that's where the saying go, don't cast your pearls among swine, right? Because they'll sit there and gobble, gobble, gobble it up. But then they'll go back and relay that message as you talk too much, right? But they really sitting there jealous of you, jealous the way you look, jealous the way you move your hands, jealous the way you blink, jealous the way you sit on the couch, right? Like 607 Unc, let me just wiggle on down in here and get in my groove. All paying attention to everything else besides the word, what's coming out, the wisdom, because they stuck here. And what I noticed is she was like in her early 60s, late 50s. I said that backwards. Late 50s, early 60s. And she had settled in life. She was here. She was trying to dress like me, like a little girl. Like she had on a Daisy Duke skirt and some pumps. Shoot, y'all, look, hold on. Let me show y'all these shoes I got on. These are some Crocs, right? I wear platform shoes because I'm real short, right? I'm only 4'9". I'm tiny. And so I wear a lot of platform shoes. This woman, I don't know what it is. That thing was like almost 5 something, almost 6 feet, and coming out the house in a mini skirt and platforms, trying to act like me. And I'm like, girl, you and your girl, what is happening here? What am I looking at, right? But whatever, I guess if that's your authenticity, but is it, right? A lot of people sitting back trying to crush you from doing what it is that God put in you and instilled in you. And understand me this. If you don't know what it is that you're supposed to be doing, all you got to sit back and watch and see what is that thing that every time you went to do it, somebody called your phone to stop you from doing it. when you went to do that thing and you had so-called friends / haters / snakes in your garden right before you weeded your garden, what is it that they was bashing you for doing, right? That's all you gotta sit back and think about, right? A lot of people like, I don't know my purpose, but I'm here to help you out with it. Every time you went to do that thing, you say, I'm gonna record me doing this thing, and everybody and their mama that you don't talk to no more start calling your phone to stop you from doing that thing. That's what it is that you're supposed to be doing, right? And so I had an issue, right? I had an issue. My biggest issue was I didn't want to do nothing nobody else was doing like that, right? And so I complained to God, and I complained to God, and I complained. I'm not doing that, right? God gave me all different type of gifts, talents, and abilities. I'm not doing it, Lord. I'm not doing what they doing, right? And God, like, I remember one day, I was in the bathroom complaining to God. I was at work complaining to God. On the way to work complaining to God. I'm not doing that, right? And God, like, what is you talking about, right? And finally, I started seeing numbers. I started seeing signs. I started seeing synchronicities. I started, y'all, it's all the way down to the animals was talking to me, right? Every day I got off of work, it was a bunny. Y'all got chills. Every day I got off of work, it was a bunny sitting in my yard, right? Like one of the little fluffy bunnies. I'm out there trying to catch it, right? Like, what is this? Y'all, it was nighttime. It wasn't even daytime, in the middle of the hood. Nighttime, I got off of work didn't get home till close to like 10, sometimes 11 o'clock, because I was driving for Amazon for a crooked ass man, right? Driving for Amazon. He seen the go with me, right? And jealous, right? And I was the type of person, we had to wear like the little vest, but I'm coming in there and Jordans and all this, right? But these type of shoes right here, what are these, like these little nursing Crocs, like $7, right? But the way I kept myself up, people was jealous about that. But this is my thing. If I got to go out and deliver to everybody and they mammy, why would I be coming to work looking like, what the fuck? Right? What the helly? What the hell? What the helly? Right? A lot of them people look like, what the helly? What the hell? And they was stinking funky. Looked like they had on stuff from yesterday. Right? And when he finally got strict about the uniforms, they still look like they stunk. Right? How you stinking in a uniform? Right? Everybody ain't got that. But the type of money that we was making, you had enough to take your stuff to the laundromat, bruh. Right? Period. And our sus, you shouldn't be coming to work delivering no package look like you stink from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. And I'm not a person who talk about people, but since we own it, because everybody was involved, every job that I ever had, everybody was involved in doing something, causing problems, doing something. So this is why I'm able to speak about them the way I am. And I'm not even talking about them as bad as I really can. Boy, I can get high for the fight, get low for the foe in your motherfucking trench coat, right? One thing about me, God gave me so many talents. You come for me, I will light your ass up. You understand me? Like, boy, be in the house with a house for the kids, right? At a young age. It was like 10 of us in Granny's house, right? Piled up. You got to learn how to survive and thrive. And y'all that know, y'all know. Hey, you better have that quick comeback. And I'm telling you, don't come for me. I'm going to hunt you down. I'm going to figure you out. And I'm going all the way from kindergarten, all the way up into your adulthood where you're at right now. So do not play with me, right? I'm going to light you up. I'm going to make you shameful. And that's why most of your enemies got to come for you behind the scenes. God said, ain't none of your enemies going to ever face you. Ain't none of you 25 and old. Hey, ain't none of your enemies gonna come for you. They ain't got the balls to stand up for you. You out here 4'9", knocking them down. Hey, they gonna come for you behind the scenes. You little bitty old midget. You out here crushing shit, right? They out here 6'5", and you bringing them down to 4'9". Stop playing with me. Because I said, God, why they cowards? Why they won't come, right? Why they getting on these platforms? I don't even know them, right? They going behind the scene, report my stuff. God said, ain't nobody coming to you. For one, I got your back. And for two, you got your back. And for three, your mouth is out of this world, right? And I had to realize that even when I was young, I was a powerful manifester, but I didn't know it. Everybody else did, though. I'm telling you that if I find out who you is, you got to go. You got to go, right? Remember, I was on the phone with my dad. I was on the phone with my dad, right? And so I don't know if I told this already, but I was on the phone with my dad, and he was having some issues around him. Right? I had some issues around me as well. But he a little different. He not having it. And so he called me. He said, hey, he said, they doing this and that and da-da-da-da-da. He said, I'm going to break their back. Right? Y'all, he out of control. Prison got him gone. Right? He did 15 years. He not playing. He was shank one of y'all. He said, hey, he said, they over here doing this and doing that. People don't understand that when you come out of prison, right? When people come out of prison, like they don't have the mentality as the average person to let stuff go, right? They in the survival of the fittest in there. And so they got to stick and move, learn how to make money, stop this, stop that. You know, you got everybody crooked, including the police officers and all that type of stuff, right? And so he had to figure it out, and he did, right? He ran all the penitentiaries. When he first got out of jail, hey, he went and found a job, right? I don't got no sympathy for nobody out here talking about, I feel sorry for myself. Let me tell y'all something. Wait a minute. My dad did, his first bid was what, 13 years. His first bid was 13 years in prison. When my dad got out, what people don't understand about people in prison is this. When they go in there, that's the way it is, right? So if they went to prison in 1980, that's the mentality. And so they in prison and they stuck there. It's a time lapse. And a lot of people in prison, they come out looking so good because of that time that they was in, and they still stuck in that time, right? It's prison all the way around, right? And what I found out is that it's bigger than what we think it is, right? When they went in prison in 1980, right? And then you see them and you like, damn, this dude ain't aged a bit. They stuck there dimensionally, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They are still in 1980, right? And so they do not age. A lot of people do not age. It takes them a long time to age. And so when my dad came out of prison, when he started to get back around dudes that he knew, right? It was a couple of his dudes that was on the stores, clothing stores and stuff. By the time he got out, I'm 34 now. So my dad got out probably when I was like 19 years old. And so probably somewhere around there. What I noticed is that everybody that my dad used to hang around, that I didn't even know that he used to hang around, once they get out of prison, because they go around them. And he looked at younger than everybody. He looked at younger than everybody, like straight baby face, right? And when I looked at the guys, they was the same age as him. And they looked at old and worn out. So prison was really a blessing for him, right? We talk about this all the time. All them people looked at really old, worn down from life, right? And so he was like, I remember he got out of jail, man. He used to walk me down to the school because our school was down the street from us. And he had on the penitentiary flip-flops. He had on the high socks, the high old school socks, right? White socks, a beater on with some creased shorts, right? If he had on pants, them had creases in them as well. Penitentiary crease ain't going nowhere, right? Them creases still in them pants in the dumpster somewhere today. In the landfill, them pants still got creases. They crispy. They creases in they pants is the crispiest. Y'all, do y'all know I still crease my pants from my dad teaching me how to crease pants? Y'all, I still go to work, and when I go to work and I go to interview, I would crease my pants, right? So, anyways, he had his waves was brushed to the back. He had his hair brushed to the back with some banging ass waves, right? It still looked like a baby face. Looked like he was ready to tear everybody else up on the block. Well, nobody gonna survive the wrath. Like, he was so strong, had so much strength, y'all, from being in prison that long. It wasn't nobody going one-on-one with him. And this is what I told him. Wasn't nobody going 3-on-1 with him. Flat out. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke, none of that stuff. And so after a while, like later on, he started drinking, right? But even with him drinking, that would have been worse. I'm just saying, right? And so anyways, when my dad got out of jail, he couldn't find no job nowhere from his charges. And so he got sick of, he had found the girl, him and his girl, right? His girlfriend mother had been a part of our family for years. And so when he had got out, she had introduced him to her, right? And by him being in prison so long, he got her and stuck with her. He had married her and everything. He had treated her good, real good. And when she was out here already with her set of friends and her family. None of them could find a job, right? My dad got out of prison, right? And he went around for a while looking for jobs. They couldn't find no jobs. And so my dad got tired. He like, I'm not, what? They ain't gonna treat me like this, right? And they minds is different, y'all. I'm telling you. He went inside of this big factory. This factory in our little B.O. cities is one of the hardest factories to get into, right? And I'm going to go back here for a second. he had called me and was telling me that what people was doing on the block, right? And people was doing over here and over there, right? Because he owned his own business, do real well in his own business. He wasn't doing it no more. And so he called me and was like, man, this dude hold my money up and da-da-da-da-da, right? And I had to tell him, like, it's systems, it's systems and stuff like that. He's still learning certain stuff, right? And so, y'all, he called me and he was telling me about what people was doing, right? And I sit there and I thought about it. And even with me, like, the same thing was going on with me, what I had to deal with. And when I thought about it, I had called him and I said, you know what? He said, I don't understand these, he said he always called them valley, these valley niggas, these valley ass niggas. Y'all, one day he kept saying that, these valley ass niggas, right? And one day I said, what is you saying? What are you talking about? He said, the valley ass niggas. I'm going to drop a dime on that nigga, right? I said, belly? He said, yeah, them belly ass niggas, right? Because he kept saying, them valley ass niggas. He said, yeah, I'm going to drop a dime on that nigga, right? Gone, y'all. Oh, my God. One day he kept saying it, like, every time I would talk to him, these valley ass niggas, right? And I'm like, what is he talking about, right? One day I was like, what is you talking about, man? You keep saying these valley niggas. I said, what does that mean? He said, that movie, Valley. He said, you know that dude that was in there talking about, I'm gonna drop a dime on that nigga. He said, that's him, right? I said, Belly. You talking about Belly? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all, I didn't see too much. So anyways, he was like telling me what everybody was doing, right? And so I'm solving the problem for him on the phone. Like, yep, that person doing X, Y, and Z. It ain't them, that they crackheads, right? It's the dude down the street, right? He the one running the whole operation, right? He like, oh, you right, because I seen what do. I said, but you don't understand that they going to run the operation behind the scene because we too strong, right? We too mentally strong. We too physically strong. We emotionally strong, right? We done been through hell and back. And a lot of them people be cowards and they jealous of your goal. And a lot of them people do be them belly ass niggas, right? I'm going to drop a dime on that, right? But they can't drop a dime when you doing everything legit. And trust and believe me, they try to drop a dime. Right? Them belly niggas, right? They try to drop a dime. But they didn't send everybody towards you. But when you doing stuff legit and you paying your taxes and you doing all this stuff, right? It ain't nothing they can do with you but stay behind the scenes trying to cause you problems, right? And so I said, you in that field over there, so you dealing with over there, right? I'm in the field over here. So what they try to do is they go behind the scenes and try to report your page. They try to go throw witchcraft. They try to do all these things to stop you from talking. You have to walk away because a lot of these people ain't creative, right? Everybody want to be creative. Ain't nobody creative, right? And so they try to go, you got people in this field over here trying to beat you at that. You got people over here trying to beat you at that. You got people with millions of followers coming down to your little video page. You only got 30 subscriptions, right? And 30 people so-called subscribe to you because trust me, they messing with those numbers. They doing all that, right? When you the truth. They don't mess with people who ain't talking about nothing, who ain't doing nothing, who feeding the masses bullshit. The people that they mess with is the people with that real message, that real 144, right? Everybody can get on somewhere and say this about them, right? Everybody can say, oh, I'm chosen, I'm this, I'm that. That's just something to say. And the spiritual way right now, and for the last couple of years, have been the wave, right? Let me ride the wave, right? But it's crazy that everybody want to ride the wave, but they ain't did the work. That's fine if that's what you into, right? But don't come up over here messing with the one that did do the work, because you will get took down. I always tell people, when I went to the workplaces, all of it, you might have not been the first, but when you came and hit that building, hit the scene, God sent you in there. You didn't know why God took you that way. You will be the last, right? Because they do have to touch you in order to be crumbled and pummeled upon. You understand? And so God will let them touch you and let them do all these things so he can get them. We ain't nothing but a mirror. And a lot of times them people look in the mirror and they see the sign and it aggravates them and they go to work, right? All the way down to your family members, all the way down to the people you don't know, all the way down to the people on this here website, right? These platforms, right? A lot of them want to be, let me stop you, listen to this noise intimidation. Let me stop you from talking. Let me stop, let me right? Let me go report your page so you can't get onto the algorithm. Let me mess with your numbers so it can make it look like you ain't making the difference, right? So that way you will stop. But I ain't gonna never stop until I drop. You understand me? Till the good Lord call me home. I ain't gonna never stop, right? And they think that when they don't see you for a while, that whatever they did to you would work. They don't understand that God's sitting in the background giving you downloads. We have to rest and recuperate to come back out, right? You can drop downloads back to back. Some people can, and some people they have to rest and recoup because that message is just that deep that God wants you to deliver, right? Whatever it is. And then you have those who are trying to stand in the forefront of what God trying to do and the message that God trying to get out to somebody. You taking it all personal. Who she thinks she is. Pressure. Who gonna check her? Bitch. That's who I am, right? And so, anyways, a lot of these people, they can copy and paste you crumbling chalk, you doing this, you doing that, right? Trying to steal, siphon, whatever, right? You got people going so far to the point where they out here trying to throw people that you don't even know up into the forefront. And what I started to notice is that the real black on black crime is that the fact that they using our own people to go up there and do it. Like they see you 122, they see you, which is 144. They see you and they get so mad that they will go overseas and pay somebody and throw them up in the front to talk loud, right? I bullcrap y'all not. I got on this here platform and I did a video. When I got done from doing the video, y'all, I fell asleep. The next day I got up. Y'all, it was so many people on my platform screaming and hollering. And I said, what the hell, right? A lot of times you get up, you lay there, you pray. I said my prayer stuff, and I grabbed my phone. When I grabbed my phone, it was so many people, false prophets, people speaking about stuff that didn't make sense. Threw up in the front. It's people I never clicked on, I never seen, I never met, never clicked on, never understood to care, never knew that they existed in this universe, right? In my mind is that everybody is like the beach. And then you got on the beach, if you scoop up some sand in your hand, right? You scoop that grain, you scoop that sand up in your hand, and you go in there and try to pick out a grain of sand. One simple grain of sand. That's how people are to me. And so don't nobody matter. Nobody means nothing to me, right? God had to change my perception on that too, because I said, God, I'm like a grain of sand, right? What am I gonna do? God said, no, you ain't. You one running the matrix. What the hell you talking about? Right? So God worked on me, with me, to change that. And so that's why I'm on here speaking right now. Because I'm like, forget it, right? God, I ain't going all through that for that, right? God like, oh, yes, you is. And everybody that come after you, you ain't understanding that you are the trap. A lot of y'all are the trap. A lot of God's people, we are the trap, right? God said it's right up there to move whatever it is out of the way that's been in place to cause problems. That's causing problems to the greater change. That's causing problems. It's trying to stop you from moving around, playing cameras all up in your house, then paid your man, your woman, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your kids to act a fool on you, right? Y'all don't even understand that some of y'all are laying next to the enemy, right? That's a whole nother conversation. A lot of them people is paid and put in place to hold you up, right? And one thing, I watched this video many years ago, and the guy said, all the devil got to do is waste your life clock. It ain't nothing extra to it, right? Keep you distracted. And so a lot of y'all need to come up out of there. Come up out of that. And so I'm going to say this real quick, and I'm going to get up out of here because we know what it is. We know what they be doing out here, right? What I'm going to say, I forgot I got to go get me some food, y'all. Anyways, I'm going to say this. I was on the phone with my dad, and we was talking about different things, and I was telling him about his testimony, part of his testimony. And I said, you got out of prison, right? You got in a relationship. And I said, and you had so many people around you. You had your girl, her family, her friends, right? Because he really didn't have no friends like that. And that little bit of friends that he did, I said, a lot of people didn't even have no job. They sitting around crying and whining, right, about what they ain't got. and how they in messed up predicaments, right? My dad felt so bad for everybody that he went out there to, it was this factory, right? This factory is hard to get in. He went out there to this factory, and when he went out there to this factory, he went out there and he went to fill out an application. He waited for the application, right, for them to call back. They never called back. He got so mad that he got up, went inside of that factory, got dressed, went inside of that factory and started to work and told him he not leaving until they give him a job. He worked that whole shift in his mind with no pay, right, to prove that he can come in there and do the job and get the job done. He just went in there, told him, show me what to do. People on the floor, show him what to do. He went in there and worked so fast and so hard that the owner came out and said, who was that? And they told him, and they said, well, he got a record and something. The owner told him, I don't care. Give him a uniform and hire him in here now. They hired him in there. Not only did they hire him, he went and told them he had several people that needed jobs. Everybody that was sitting on that couch crying about what they ain't had, including his girlfriend, who ended up being his wife later on, who they're now divorced, right? He went and took all them people and got them people jobs, right? Do y'all know, after he did all that and got all these people jobs, right, they all shitted on him behind his back, all causing problems, talked about him like a dog behind his back. Y'all, the same wife that he ended up divorcing, or she divorced, however it went, don't care, right? He didn't need to be with that. Sitting out here, was causing problems for his two daughters, right? Stalking them and talking, running their mouth in the background, keeping her mouth on us, just running her mouth. Jealous weirdos, right? You got to be careful who y'all land next to, especially when y'all got other kids by other people, right? You have to protect your babies. It's a difference just when you are married. It goes marriage is a little bit different, but I feel like with that it comes with a balance, right? When you dealing with a woman who don't like your kids and your kids are babies and that did nothing to her because she jealous of the last woman you was with, and really the last woman that you was with never even did nothing to you or her. A lot of these women in the background growing secret obsessions with the woman, they don't even like the man. They don't even like your ass, sir. They done grew an obsession with your ex. And y'all sitting up there laying next to this and then putting y'all babies next to this shit. These pummeled and crumbled up hoes. Protect y'all babies, man. These hoes weak. They jealous of the little kids and everything. They causing them problems, permanent hair, cutting their hair off, all kind of stuff. And then when your baby mama come to you about, hey, bro, she cut our daughter's hair off, our son's hair off. I didn't give her that permission. She put perm or relaxer in their hair. And you sit there, oh, ain't no, you a weak ass nigga. What? What are you talking about? You lost. Put some kahunas on, bro. Ain't no cuckoo running you like that. Y'all, one thing I can say is that when my dad started figuring it out, right? He later on came back and said, you know what? I got out of prison. I didn't know this. I didn't know that, right? He said, but a lot of stuff you expressed to me, you know, later on he felt some type of way about it. But I told him, don't hold no guilt because I respect you for trying, right? For trying. He really tried his hardest, especially with getting out of jail and stuff like that. You know, he didn't know a lot. So anyways, y'all, I know, because it's time for me to eat, baby. My little Mexican food, child. I'm going to say this. Like 601 said, if you got a talent, forget somebody else. Now the alarm's going off outside. Forget somebody else. What they talking about, forget. Hold on, y'all, because I'm in the refrigerator searching for new meating, right? Jalapenos. Pico de gallo. But when you got talent, don't sit there and wait for somebody else, right? Get up and move around. And anybody who in your way from trying to stop you from doing that thing, who calling your phone every time you go to do something, do y'all know that every single time I could sit in this house for days on out, nobody will call my phone. Nobody call me at all. I don't talk to somebody. I don't deal with people, right? Because they approve who they are, and that's what it is. When I tell you, I don't talk to nobody. I don't deal with nobody, right? Do you know that every single time that I get on here to deliver a message, anything else I can do, nobody bother. When I get on here, it's two things: to deliver a message and crazy, y'all. Look at this. I just walk back in my kitchen to find my Doritos. 144 on that microwave. That's not the real time, but I keep my time like that because I let God talk to me. Right? It's always one of my times that I let be off, right? When I first moved in here, when I plugged the microwave up, the time was... I didn't never set that microwave. I just let it be offset. And when I let it be offset like that, I didn't do it on purpose at first. But once I started seeing that the numbers was popping up like that, I leave it alone. I let God do his talk, his stick talk, his stick talk. His lick talk, his lick talk. I'm about to up on a new... I'm about to... That is my song right there. Wait a minute. Let me go back to church on for y'all real quick. I'm blessed and highly favored. So... To whoever needed the message, right? I'm in here looking for my Doritos. I ain't got nothing else left for y'all. Hopefully y'all got that message, right? Whatever you got out of that, use it to your full potential and your full ability, right? I ain't getting on here to preach. I ain't getting on here to make you move. I'm just getting on here telling a little bit of my side to help you with your side. That's it. I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all later and I'll be back maybe. I don't know. Depending on what God say. Depending on what comes to mind, right? Depending on what is what. I don't know. Let them copy. Let them copy. Let them try to move their hands like that and blink like that and move like that and woo, 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 and copy, yo. Let them try it. Let them try their best ability, right? To the best of their ability, right? When they put them false prophets on the forefront, it was a girl out in the woods with a skirt on and a church hat on, talking about woo, 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 woo. I woke up, I said, what is this? God said, they put that up there for you. I said, oh, I feel special. Swoop. Y'all have a blessed one. Love you.